adjust the microphone so that you can be heard. The board will ask any questions they may have. Then anyone wishing to speak to the proposal will be asked to come forward and voice their opinion. Each side, that's not each person, but each side on a particular item will have 10 minutes to speak. Once your request is heard and the board's decision is rendered, you may leave the meeting. However, if you have questions for staff, please wait until the meeting is over and ask them, or you may contact staff at the office the following day. All discussion is to be kept on the subject of the project. This is not a venue to vent grievances you might have against your neighbor or even the Architecture Review Board and what we might have done the last time you were here. If you persist in discussion that is not about the project, I will call you out of order. If you continue to persist, I will bang the gavel and you will be removed from the meeting by our security person. Once public testimony and discussion for a particular item has concluded, the members of the board will deliberate and render its decision. Members with a personal or financial interest in any request are required to recuse themselves from voting. All decisions by the Architecture Review Board are final. Any person having a request for a certificate of appropriateness denied by the board may appeal such a denial to the Montgomery City Circuit Court. Any such appeal shall be filed with the Circuit Court between 30 days after the receipt of the notice of the final discussion of the board. Since we have to distance ourselves, I can hardly count how many people we have. Seven. We have 7 members present. It takes 5 people to pass a motion. So I doubt that you would have a problem getting the number of votes that you need. But if you would like to delay your request, please let the staff know at the time your request is announced. Let me take this opportunity to introduce members of the Architecture Review Board. Cedric Campbell, Elizabeth Brown, Jake Johnson, is he not here? Barry Robinson, John Hayden, John Foshee, Hillary Morgan is not here, Katie Williams, and Kalia Bell. Our land use staff are Chrissy Anderson and Paul Wade. All right. What's our first item on the agenda today? It is Luke and Amy Bentley, Old Cloverdale, 601 East Fairview Avenue. And I believe that I can probably just read this one. Did they come?
I told them they did not need to come for this.
I wouldn't have thought so. This is the house at Fairview and Lockerbie, where they wanted to replace the slate roof, which is in terrible condition, with an artificial slate appearing. They have brought shingles, and members of the board have had an opportunity to review the pattern, and here is the recommended motion. In light of the condition of the roof and limited availability of roofing materials due to the COVID-19 pandemic, move to confirm the approval of Certainty Belmont shingle in gatehouse slate as a replacement for the slate roof, subject to any future roof replacements being subject to review of the board as to ensure the replacement materials are slate or slate-like in appearance, as the slate roof appearance is a character-defining feature of the house. Further, staff is instructed to file a notice of decision to be recorded with the Montgomery County Probate Office attached to the deed and put in any subsequent owners on notice regarding such a decision. And our standard review in this is the board shall approve an application and issue a certificate if it finds that the proposed change, erection, or demolition conforms to the general design standards established by the board and is compatible with the character of historic property, or historic district does not materially impair the architectural or historic values of the historic district. So that is our motion for this project. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, the motion passes. Now, I don't know why it is that when I have my mask on, I can't see. I just don't think that's possible, but it seems to be the case. Olivia Martin, Old Cloverdale, 646 Cloverdale Road.
Hi, I'm Olivia Martin. I've lived at 646 Cloverdale Road for 30 years. This is my husband, Bob Henderson. And our contractor, Hilda Dent, is not here tonight. She's in Tuscaloosa. She's available by phone if you ask any really tricky questions. We have gone back since our last meeting. We have revised our plans for the roof structure to use a different type of material that would have a much less slope. It would be metal, and Bob is going to talk about that. And then the fence, we still are asking for a fence that comes to the front of the house. It will not return, and it is it is unusual. I took a walk around my neighborhood the other day, and I saw lots of fences that came to the front of the house. Now, many of those predate the Architectural Review Board, but probably the most prominent one is on the corner of Felder and Cloverdale, and that house, like mine, doesn't really have a backyard. Mm-hmm. And so the larger fence, taller fence, was allowed to go to the front of the house, and then they went with a one that was, I think it's really like chicken wire, but they've got a hedge built into it. And so that is really what we're requesting, because the private part of our house that we use is we need the privacy fence to come farther to the front of the house. Now, that does not include the porch area. We have a giant porch, and it would stop before the porch. And we would like to put the fence there, and we have redone the front part of the fence to include something that was more Mediterranean style. I ordered a book on Mediterranean houses. I looked on the internet, and most either have kind of a stucco or a metal fence. And the reason we went with metal is because it's so muddy in our yard that a stucco we thought would be constantly dirty. And, particularly if it had to be 3 to 4 feet, be right there on the ground. So we went with the metal fence, and so we're presenting that tonight for approval, and Bob can talk about the roof.
All right.
Good evening. What we're proposing is to take the slope of the roof from a 3/12 pitch down to a 3/4 on 12 pitch. This will reduce the face of the structure by about 50%, and we're proposing to paint it with a color that is extremely close to the tile themselves. And in the paperwork I submitted, there was a picture of that, and it really just makes it disappear into the thing. The face of that, if you go by the house now going down Cloverdale, since the trees are filled out, you really can't see it as it is, and reducing it by half will further take any visual impact out.
All right.
And we'll be putting a metal roof on top of that to allow us to get down to that small amount of pitch.
All right.
So that's what we're proposing.
So is the area you're talking about, this little flat area right there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And you're not affecting any of the green tile areas at all?
No. Well, we're in the process of reworking those tile areas, but they'll go back as they are.
And actually, we discovered the rotten place on the flat roof when we were replacing the tiles. So it wasn't even a part of our original project, but we got up there and it was a huge hole in it.
Most of the time you have a flat roof and start repairs, it's not if it's damaged, it's how much damage there is, because water's going to go somewhere.
Well, it actually came into 6 rooms in our house. One, we put a blue tarp over it after we discovered it. There was a huge storm that night. I can't remember which one, but I don't think it was the hurricane, but a huge storm. We put on those big black things from Walmart, and we took in my son's room over 50 gallons of water, because when we went to bed, we bailed it because it was too heavy to move, and it continued to take water through the night. But yes, so we have substantial damage from just the blue tarp failing. So I know there were questions before from you about us going ahead and trying to put a solution in right away, but after that much water came in the house, we just built something to save
Kind of
it.
an emergency situation?
It was emergency.
Right. Is there anyone in the audience to speak to this project? Ms. Forrester, how are you this evening? Good.
I have trouble hearing with my mask on. Last month at the ARB, I think, Mr. Foshi, that you had talked about going over and climbing up and seeing if there was any, way to fix the flat roof or anything like that. Were you able to determine if there was another solution, or is this the best solution?
So, is this on? Yeah, I guess it is. I've been working with the homeowners over the past month. They've been very gracious and taken a lot of time to talk with me and meet. So I did not end up climbing up there. They did not have a lift on site.
Okay.
But we talked about different options, and they felt this was the best option for them, and I agree. I think it's a good option moving forward.
Well, with the fixture of the roof, we're going to defer to the ARB, and if y'all feel this is the best solution for that, it at least lowers the profile by 50%, so we would be happy with that. We would like to speak about the fence. I do know the house that Ms. Martin was talking about on the corner of Felder in Cloverdale, and it does have a fence that comes out, but it is a wire-type fence with shrubbery on it, and it encloses a part of the side yard, so it makes it like an enclosure. This is just a fence all the way down. It doesn't enclose anything, and there's already a lot of shrubbery there, and I think you could have the same privacy concept if you planted a lot more shrubbery and had more of a green type, fence with shrubbery and trees. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Could I respond, please?
Certainly.
Okay, we stopped work on this project when it was reported to the city. So one of the reasons that Mr. Fauché could not go up on the roof is we no longer had our lift. So you had to go up on scaffolding. Now, we have sent somebody up there, but they're young. But the problem was we didn't have a lift, and he decided that we didn't need to rent one for his visit. And I would say that the house that I was referring to up on the corner of Felder and Cloverdale does have the large privacy fence that comes out to the front of the house, and then it becomes a wire fence. And we hope to achieve the same sort of result by using the privacy fence and then going to the Mediterranean-style metal fence.
Anyone else to speak on this project?
Ms. Davis, keep your comments on the project.
I will keep my comments on the project. This is Dee Dee Davis. I am the neighbor that lives adjacent to 646 Cloverdale. As we speak, the beautiful fence that I custom designed by A+ Fencing is being installed. The property between my property at 1817 Lockerbie and that at 646 is already installed. They're working on my iron gates as I speak. You can pull up, I didn't bring my photos because of the fact you already have them. And there's redundancy, there's absolutely no reason, there's a fence to nowhere. Mine was done for security for not only our pending puppy dog that's being born in August, but it's for security of my property because of the value and the maintenance. So there's absolutely no reason to have a wooden fence 6 feet when mine is a 5-foot satin black fixed into the property where my landscape architect has planted various plantings so that will actually grow up and you won't even be able to see the side at all. If she puts a 6-foot wood fence adjacent to mine, there's no reason for it. And then proposing to do something in the front that goes to nowhere either, there's absolutely no reason to have a singular line fence. It's not for security, it's not for anything. So I vehemently request that her proposal of an inferior wooden fence will be denied. And you're more than welcome to come out and see what mine looks like if you need to see what difference it would make.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else to speak to this project? Discussion by the board.
I would note that by way of reference, there was a petition not too terribly long ago on Ponce de Leon where someone extended a picket fence along a side property line purely for decorative purposes that you all approved.
I think we should take them one at a time. First, I would move to approve the improvements or repair, actually, to the roof, provided that if there are any further repairs or need of alterations, that Ms. Martin, you and your husband come before the board and request it. Otherwise, you've got to fix your roof. And again, flat roof is not any way to go. So I would make that motion concerning the roof, concerning the fence, move to approve as submitted.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? All right. Are you going to continue your list? Are you just going to do them all, or do you want someone else to take up the torch from here?
We have a roof, we have a fence.
He
Anything
did
else?
both of them.
Yeah, he was doing both. I'm not sure everybody understood that, but he was making
Yeah.
two motions at once.
Okay.
Yeah, he said he was
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
do
sorry. I took them one at a time. I didn't make two separate motions. If you want to do it that way, we can, but I
No,
moved.
that's okay.
No, that's fine.
Provided, again, I move to approve the roof as submitted. As far as if there's any problems with it, they come back and let us talk about before they make any alterations. And I move to approve the fence as submitted, and I think that was approved.
All right.
Yeah.
A second?
John seconded it.
Okay. All in favor?
Yeah.
We already voted.
Or double
Why
up.
did I not hear you say the part about the fence?
I don't know. Usually folks don't have a problem hearing when I speak.
No, not usually. All right. Thank you. Scott Road and Drew Zimmerman, 359 and 353 Cloverdale Road.
Hello,
Greetings.
I'm Scott Terode. I live at 359, and my neighbor Drew Zimmerman at 353. We're applying for approval of this privacy fence together because our houses are 20 feet apart. And Drew came to me needing a privacy fence that extended beyond or forward of the back of the house, mostly because his side door is his only access to the back of the house. He doesn't have a rear door.
Okay.
And most of us would prefer to walk out into our fenced area without going through a fence. It kind of created a little bit of a slot on my side of the yard. I have a privacy fence currently that's behind my, right at the rear of my house. And so I would prefer to move mine forward a little bit closer to his. Also just for the security of having my side door behind the privacy fence as well. Our approach to it was to not go for the full 6 feet, but to shorten it to about 5.5 feet and really go with a 4 foot of solid door with a lattice treatment at the top just to kind of scale it down.
All right. Anything else? Is there anyone in the audience to speak to this? Ms. Callaway, thank you.
Laura Callaway, Garden District Preservation Association. We do not have any objection to it.
All right, thank you. Anyone else in the audience? Discussion from the board?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the best sketches of the meeting. Good luck, sir.
They do get a
Second.
prize for that, don't they? You'd think they did that for a living.
That's right, you would think.
All right. Second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Go, build your fence.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Ascent Hospitality in the Lower Commerce Historic District, 108 Koosa Street.
Good evening. My name is Mark Dahlberg. John Tampa was not able to be here tonight, so I'm the proverbial poor substitute.
You got to change your accent.
I can't, can I see the verbiage again? So I can- Okay, yeah.
Got
So the signs, you've got drawings, right? Okay, so you see what I'm talking about. Okay, so the signs are for the hotel where the Murphy Mansion and what was the water and sewer building are. The specific request is that where the Starbucks is going to be located, which is between the Spring Hill Suites and what will be the Autograph Hotel, or the Trilogy, to have a flat sign against the building for Starbucks over the door, and a little 24-inch round sign, blade type sign sticking out for ease of visibility for pedestrians primarily.
Mike, could you bring up the oversized drawings? No, he's going to pull them up on the screen. They were separate. He's got them. Mr. Dauber. There's a separate file with the drawings that, in case they don't have them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got copies of them.
Okay. So in the years when I've tried to describe this array of hotels here, it's really hard for people to figure out where one starts and the other ends.
So where exactly was the Trilogy signs going to go?
I'm sorry.
Where exactly was the Trilogy signs going to go?
The Trilogy is right there as the cursor is showing.
Oh, okay.
It's a blade sign, so you're just.
Would be up on the, second or third story there? And that's the little round Starbucks signs, the one we like to have perpendicular to the building. Back there. Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
Is it me, or should the Starbucks sign be over like the opening rather than the door? Like centered to the opening?
There will be, what we want to have is that flat one you see there, the long one, right over the door. But it wouldn't be visible, obviously, from...
Yeah, but from the street, you see like the opening as a whole. You know, typically signs are like centered over the opening.
It'll be over the door right there as what it is.
Yeah, but the door is not the center of the
Not
opening.
centered, right.
I mean, what do y'all think? Do you have any issues one way or the other?
You're correct. It usually is over the whole opening rather than the door. It probably looks better in that drawing because the door is rendered up heavier, so it looks the more important, but.
So you're saying maybe slide it over so it's centered?
I mean, that's typically, you know, storefronts are considered the whole opening,
Which would be the door
and
and
the door
that
is
other
kind
bank
of,
of windows.
I mean, if you see Starbucks, you should figure out where the door is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would think so.
Well, just follow your nose. You
Like,
can figure it
oh,
out.
it's not in the center, how do I get in, you know?
Well, I mean, right now, Mark, the sign Starbucks is just over the door. There appears to be a window looking at it to the right. Is that a large window?
I think, would you scroll down? I think I blew this up a little bit. Is that, apparently it didn't make it.
Or
Okay,
even
never mind.
centered
Well,
between the two spaces.
See, the entrance to the hotel will also be that way. And it's, the openings are going to look pretty similar.
Maybe I didn't ask my question right. Is a Starbucks sign going to be centered over the entrance to Starbucks?
It's over the door. That's the intention
Right.
for this drawing. And then down to the left or down towards the river would be where this round sign would be placed.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Let me see if I can help.
Thank you.
Mark, would you consider moving the Starbucks sign to the right a couple inches or feet to
Yes.
center it? Thank you.
Center it over the whole.
Thank you.
It's centered over the opening.
Yes.
I didn't have a problem where it was, but I don't have a problem if it doesn't have a problem, move it a couple of feet to the right, I guess.
Yes.
We ready for a motion, or?
We are. Oh, and wait, we haven't asked for discussion. Is there anyone from the audience to speak to this project? Awed by your presentation, they have decided not to speak. All right, ready for a motion.
All right, I move to approve with the exception of the sign being centered between the opening and not just above the door.
The long sign.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Wait a minute. Don't we have a trilogy sign to do, or did we didn't do them both, did we?
Oh, we didn't do them both, did
No.
we? Sorry. All right.
I'm sorry, I meant to approve, or,
I do have, this is just on the trilogy sign, my edification. I understand it's going to be 12 feet, 10 inches tall,
That sounds right.
and 2 feet, I guess, wide. I mean, how tall width, how wide is it, Mark? How wide is it going to be? I didn't see that spec on it.
It's in there somewhere.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 2 feet,
I need better readers, I guess.
2 feet by 12 foot 10.
Yeah, I got that. 2
mean
feet by
how-
12
how
feet. I guess how thick is
wide?
it? Yeah, how wide? How thick is it going to be? A foot, foot and a half?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think it's that wide. It's probably just
It
wide
didn't
enough
look
to-
like it from the
to hold
diagram, and
somebody.
I don't have a problem with it. I just wondered. I mean, you wouldn't need to be that wide.
It would help if they didn't say not to scale on here, but it's obviously pretty skinny in terms of its overall dimensions.
Yeah, well, and
I
you
don't
got
know. I'm sorry, I don't have that.
You've got a four-story building there, so it's.
It could be,
Well, and he's adding another story.
I mean,
you're not going to see much of that one from here.
no, I don't think so.
All right. You want to,
What color's the sign for Trilogy?
yeah.
I'm colorblind, I don't know. I really don't know. I told you it was a poor substitute.
I think it said black in something that I read.
It's a routed aluminum cabinet with LED lighting, illuminating the letters only. So, I'm not sure if it makes a difference what kind of color it's going to be if all you're illuminating is the letters, so it can be seen at night, I'm sure.
I think that's right.
Okay.
Madam Chair, would you like a separate motion for the trilogy?
Well, either that or amend your first motion.
All right, I'd like to amend my first motion to include approval of the trilogy sign as submitted.
Right.
Second that.
All in favor? All right. Thank you, Mr. Dodd.
Thanks again, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Didn't mean to hold that one up.
I mean, turn nothing into.
I'm gone for a month and I'm messing things up when I come back.
We're going to have to reconsider your appointment.
Okay. Well, only been here, what, 10 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Need a raise.
We'll double your pay.
Okay,
right.
Evelyn Pierce Smith, Old Cloverdale,
Yes.
782 Felder Avenue.
Hi, I'm
Hi,
Georgia
how are y'all doing?
Holmes. Hold on, Evelyn. And Evelyn is on WebEx, correct?
And Mike, I can't see the what you're looking at. I don't know. I can just try to wing it though, and just kind of go from what I can. But basically, we are proposing and requesting to, on the rear of Georgia's house, to expand an existing mudroom to be larger. The materials would be to match existing in kind with a standing metal roof in bronze. Then we are also requesting to repair front door, repair the front windows in kind. They need to be rebuilt. And then on the west elevation, opposite of Galena, to remove a exterior stair and door and some windows and replace them with new weather shield windows to match existing profiles. In addition, we would like to replace the existing gravel in the circular driveway with concrete. Can y'all hear me?
Are there any, is there anyone from the audience to speak to this project? That's you.
We need to have the addition. We now have 3 children and don't really fit in the way it fits. So we needed to add on to give us more space and help with storage. What is nice is it will square off the house, and it won't just be the patio there
Okay.
anymore.
Okay.
And the gravel doesn't really bode well for children.
Comments from the board?
Just real quick, the driveway, you're going to replace gravel with concrete. Is it going to stay in the same footprint?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thought it would, just wanted to confirm.
You
Thank you.
just can't learn to play basketball or learn how to ride a bike with gravel.
A lot easier on concrete than dirt or gravel,
Yes,
from experience.
there's nothing that we can do.
Been there.
I mean, I don't mean to go again, but I won't go again. I think it's a lovely house and lovely addition, and I move to approve as submitted.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? All right, thank you. Dennis Eaton, Garden District, 1224 South Perry Street. Dennis, you look like you've come prepared with a window here.
I did.
All right.
Not bad for a rookie, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and sell the whole audience as well. All right, to the members of the board, I'm representing Mr. Anthony Stewart at 1224 South Perry. He is proposing 18 window replacements. What he currently has is it's pretty abysmal. So we're looking to upgrade the house with this Anderson 400. We're replacing 5 casements, same as same. And with the double hungs and the twin double hungs, we'll go back with the Anderson 400. Exterior composition. This is a proprietary fiberglass. This is not vinyl. It's pretty much a mixture between. Can I take this off?
Yeah.
That's proprietary, so it's not vinyl clad. Just give you the rundown on the spec sheet. It's 40% wood fiber by weight, mostly retained from Anderson manufacturing processes, with 60% thermoplastic by weight. It blocks heat transfer 700 times better than aluminum, reduces VOC emissions, and it's twice as strong as vinyl. So on the exterior of the house, that's how our program as Home Depot is able to give customers a lifetime warranty. Interior, we'll have that classic wood look. Customers went with white on white. That is bottom operating sash. Those sashes will operate. And these will be pocket replacements. And there's probably still, I'll have to go back to the customer and see if there's any additional things that we need to change with the contract to make sure that we're congruent with the ARB.
So when you say, before going to the window itself, I'm just going to go to the design of the window. So if the
I'm sorry, Katie, could you pull your mic down, please? I can't hear you.
Oh, so I was just talking about the actual design of the window, like if it's a 6/6 window, it'll be a 6/6 window. So the actual configurations will stay as is. Okay.
Same thing with the grid. All the grids will be simulated by the light, just like that plastic wood. It won't be gridded through glass. Some of the lowering the block, it will be all on the exterior.
And it's integrated to the outside, like they're not
Yes, it is.
stuck in there. Like my house is, and I hate it.
What about the casements again?
We'll be replacing the casements with casements.
And they're going to be configured just like this? Okay. That's all right. So it's going to have the like little transoms up above the casement and then the casement windows. Okay. All right. Is there anyone from the audience to speak to this?
Laura Calloway with Garden District Preservation Association. I would just like to state for the record that I don't understand why people buy old houses and then want to put new materials into them. There are 2 millworks in Montgomery, one in Millbrook, that could replicate the existing windows in this house. There are people who could put the glass in them and glaze them. And while I understand people wanting energy efficient houses, those are for suburbs out east. If you want to buy in a historic district, you ought to restore a house to its historic origins.
Thank you. Anyone else? I've been in this house, so I'm really familiar with the condition of the windows. And my thought would be, is there any way that the windows on the front of the house can be, just have the sashes replaced to be restored, or the sashes repaired and restored, and then replace the windows on, the rest of the windows are either missing or in very deleterious situation, so I wouldn't have any problem with replacing the sides and the back with new windows. But it is important that the front of the house remain as historic as it could be.
Absolutely. Normally, that's not something that my company, we're in the replacement business, but that's definitely something I can discuss with our customers to make sure that he's well aware of, what they're trying to do.
Can you speak into the mic, sir?
My apologies.
That's all
I
right.
can definitely relay that information to the customer as far as the front facade of the house. That it would probably be better off if he would to, look for sash replacement and or repair of those, and we could definitely take care of the remainder of the windows.
Okay.
Just to, I have just finished reglazing the last of every window in that house we're working on. So I do windows, but y'all did approve window replacement on the front of a house on Lexington not too terribly long ago. And because my comment was the glass was wavy and it was really pretty from the street. So, but you did approve it in that situation. Case by case basis, but just throwing that out there.
Ms. Anderson, was that with the vinyl clad window?
Well, this is actually Fibrex. When we talked, the original petition was vinyl clad, and Fibrex is a different product. So what he's brought this evening is different from what I wrote this up on, because he talked about, I asked if there were any alternatives to the vinyl product. That was an aluminum clad window, weather shield, that was approved there. So it was a clad window.
Have we seen this particular window before? Have we ever approved it if we have?
No, that's why he has a sample here.
Okay.
It's a better looking window than a lot that we've seen.
What do you charge to reglaze the windows on the front?
How long do I have to do it? I just got very friendly with some Avatron and a sash that fell apart when I took it out of the frame, so.
You have a day job, but there are others that don't have a day job, and that's all they do, so they're available.
Basically, this is similar to a metal clad window, it's just vinyl clad.
Yes, for layman's terms, correct. 60% pop, correct.
I like the thin profile, and that's something I like to see.
Katie, what, I can't hear you.
It's got a nice thin profile. A lot of times
Yeah.
you used to see an inch and 5/8
Yeah, they look real
on
chunky,
a
so-
clad type window. And this has a more
Like the
thinner
windows on the
profile.
Capitol, gigantic buttons.
I will go on the record and say I think it's good looking.
I second that.
Well, we all know how I feel about replacement windows, but the ease at which he opened and closed it was like really amazing.
It really made me happy. Like I'm trying to.
So I get to set everybody up for windows this week.
Negative.
No, you're not gonna get mine, but
I got one window in my house that opens, but I don't need more, thank you.
all right, a motion on this project?
In light of speaking, do you think that your clients would be amenable to repair the front windows facing the, I guess, the street and then replace with your product?
Stand by. Let me look at my pictures real quick.
Wasn't that your concern, Elizabeth, talking about replace the
Yes.
front and
That would
repair the front
Yes.
and then replace the remaining windows? Because understand they've got to be replaced. Think so. 6A.
It's one.
Keep going. That one's from 1998.
Wow.
Yeah, it's looked terrible for a while.
Golly.
That's the back.
I think it's-
actually. That's the rear.
That's the side.
I think 6A. One more.
Keep going. Keep going.
Get-
There we go.
All right, that's the front, correct?
Yeah, you can see that they've already done a replacement on the left facade of the house.
Okay, on that porch. Okay.
Now, the windows above the porch, it looks like there's no, it's not a 6/6 window.
Actually, I believe that was what you're seeing there are two storm windows, and there's no window at all. So I guess we would have to replace those.
I mean, I commend this homeowner for taking on this project.
Yes.
It's a wonderful house, and I'm so excited to think about it coming. It's got a beautiful floor plan on the inside, too. Ms. Calloway, how do you feel about these windows, knowing that the two windows in that main gable are missing?
No, actually, if you look at your packet, you can see that the 6/6 windows are behind that. They just don't show up on the screen.
Are you sure? Which
Yeah.
one you were-
I'm looking
have
at the
a-
photo in my printout.
I have a better picture if the board
and
wants
you
to
can
see it.
see.
Okay, so it
They're-
does
they're
still have the
there.
6/6
If you
windows?
zoom in a bit, you can see there's 6x6
Yes,
behind
ma'am.
the.
Okay.
6/6 windows
6
behind
over
those.
6.
Okay, so they are
above the
still up
porch.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that photo from 1998 is not something I think that was included in our package. I didn't realize how much this home had been
It's been neglected for a while.
neglected
Well,
for,
it's there, it
looked
just
like
don't look
decades.
repairable.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was expressing my opinion for the record.
I understand. I understand. I understand, Laura.
This house is such a mess, I'm just really excited that somebody's going to do something with it. So
Okay.
I will leave it to the board whether they think it's better to replace them all and have them all look alike, or if they think it's better to leave the historic windows on the front, if there's enough of them left to actually repair.
Well, I think there's the porch windows, the glassed-in porch windows have already been replaced. So it would be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 windows on the main body of the house. All right, I think
All right,
that's,
are those, hang on a minute. Are you talking about, the 6 we're looking at in the front?
Yes.
To repair those and then replace the remaining
yes,
windows?
replace the windows on the
Okay.
glassed-in porch
Right.
on all 3 sides.
Well, yeah, anything that's not on the front, replace. What's in the front, repair.
Yes.
Okay, I would move, let's see if I can get this straight.
Well, repair the 6 double-hung windows on the front.
Well, it looks like.
Well, what's
from-
the 6?
What
then?
about the
I see more
casement
than
windows
6.
on the
The,
front?
the casement windows on the front have already been replaced, I
The
think.
4 on bottom look already either they've been repaired or they've been replaced. It's just the 3 on top in question
1, 2,
that are in
3, 4, 5.
pretty bad.
Those have already been replaced.
Okay, so the ground floor have been replaced or repaired, but the 3 on top have not, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. You're not going to replace those 3 on the bottom floor, are you?
I would have to check, but I think our scope of work was not to replace, I know for a fact that the 3 and 3, but I do think our scope of work does contain the 3 in line with that.
Now I'm dizzy.
Well, what I don't want, if there's something that's been replaced already, I don't want, I don't want my motion to include something that would require them to pull something out that doesn't need to be repaired or replaced. That's why I was asking if those 3 on the ground floor are not going to, is there going to be anything done, the windows off the porch and that photograph right there?
To my knowledge, I do believe the 3 that are, if you go from left to right, it would be window 2, 3, and 4. And that's what I had some concerns with the homeowner. I was like, we may have to keep everything congruent, either not do any of them or do all of them. Because the last thing I want is to do the front of the house and it not match what's already been replaced. And I had that conversation with Mr. Stewart, as well as some of the other areas that pretty much have no window framing in them whatsoever right now.
Well, and I want to get whatever I move to approve, and we will move to approve. So I wanted to get it right because I don't want y'all to go in there and do something, then Christy goes by and something's wrong, and then you got to come back, and then we got to kind of redo what we're doing.
We like you, but we don't want to see you again.
How do y'all feel about omitting everything on the front in its entirety?
There would be no replacement or repair for anything on the front? Or are you just talking about replacing the windows, all the windows except those on the front?
Basically stepping away from the front of the house
Okay, and replace all the other windows.
and replacing all the other windows.
Yes. If that doesn't work, we will be happy to see you again.
Yeah, and that may make the most sense. That
Yep.
way you can talk to your client, and if there's something you need doing with the front, we meet once a month.
And using this window on the side and back?
Yes. Yeah, I agree. It's a good looking window.
All right, somebody want to make a motion?
I move to approve the project to the point that windows on the sides and the back can be replaced with the product that's been presented here, and any further requests concerning the front windows will be brought back before us before any work is done.
Understood?
All right,
Second.
all in favor?
Is
Opposed?
there a second? Who seconded that?
Ma'am?
Oh, sorry. I'm taking notes.
Kalia did.
I mean, that'll certainly give you a good place to start, and again,
I figured this would probably be a back and forth, I understand.
well, they got to be replaced, and like I said, I want it done right the first or second time. That way, maybe you won't have to come more than twice.
I live in Prattville, so it's okay.
All right, all right. The minutes for the last meeting were provided to us. Are there any additions or subtractions? All right. Then the minutes are approved as submitted, and we are adjourned.